been doing?
Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I'm Susan Kramer. Oh, I think I need to go tell Andrew to be quiet. Let me see if I can message him real quick. But welcome. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Minnesota, and I share the basement of our house with my son who is gaming. And so I need to tell him that I'm live. He has his headphone on so he can't hear me. Let's see here. There we go. Okay, but welcome. Thank you for joining me today. Let me make sure I'm live. I think I am. There we go. All right, I find myself on here. Okay, so let's get started. I go by North Star Stamper, Minnesota, the North Star State, and I try to be on lots of places online. My Facebook Live videos are only kept on Facebook for 30 days, and that's a Facebook policy, but I do upload all of them to YouTube, and I think they're easier to find on YouTube anyway. Facebook, things get buried and it's hard to find stuff. So if you want to see something I did more than 30 days ago, check out YouTube. And again, it's North Star Stamper is my YouTube channel. So thank you for joining me today. Let me, okay. So we're talking kits. The first kind of kit I want to talk about is Paper Pumpkin. And this is by subscription, so you sign up and they send you a kit every month. This was December's. They're almost always card kits. I can't remember the last time they had one that was not a card kit. Anyway, most of them are card kits, and we are not told exactly what the kit is. We'll get a sneak peek. We'll be told colors. We'll be told the theme of it and the name of it. If you want to learn more about upcoming Paper Pumpkins to decide if you want the next kit or not, on my website, northstarstamper.com, and I'll bring my sheet back out when we're done here, I share with you all the information that Stampin' Up shares with us. And they usually give you enough of a preview to know the general feel for the kit. I'll put it that way. So in my newsletter tomorrow, I'm going to talk about how to find my blog posts about Paper Pumpkin. So every quarter, they give us the information for the next 3 months. And then each quarter, there's also a coordinating die set. And that also gives you a feel for what each month is going to be. So the dies for fourth quarter 2024, because this is December's kit, included this fern die. I don't know if you can see that very well. Let's see. There we go. It was very detailed. Hopefully you can see that. So we knew that it was going to be a botanical theme in December. And quite often people like to do alternatives. So for this December kit, again, this is all Paper Pumpkin I'm talking about right now. When I saw these, they're nice cards, but I thought something was lacking. And I saw, so these are as described in the instructions. I caught it in the instructions, and there's nothing wrong with them. They're great cards. I love the scallop edge. I like the colors. I like the card layout. There's lots to like about the cards, and then they do send you envelopes. These were mossy metal envelopes, and then they give you stickers to put on the front, so they are mailable. So that was kind of fun. But I had seen somebody use the Spring Corners stamp set with these, kind of like this. This corner stamp is from that stamp set. So I made all these alternatives using the December Paper Pumpkin and extra products. I did blog about this on the 10th of this month. So if you want to go back and see these cards, and I talk about what I did, so I added some green. So the difference between those two is just the green behind that I used on the card base itself. I don't know. I think it makes a big difference. So most often I like their cards, but I just added a little bit here. So I colored the leaves, I added the stamp, I added the dots. So alternatives to Paper Pumpkin is kind of a thing in itself. There are people who love making alternatives. most often I like the cards so much that I don't make alternatives, but you can see again I used the corner dies for that one. This one was, this stamp set was in the kit, and this was my favorite one. So I used 3, I ran out of the big fern from the kit, so I die cut 3 of the ferns with the die cut that coordinated. And when I was inking this one, I put it on this piece of a card base. You can see the scallop, that's from the card base. And so I used it like a mask when I was inking this one. So that was kind of fun. And that one needs a layer on the inside. But so alternatives to paper pumpkin is something a lot of people do. You can find, there's a Facebook page about it, a great place. So all paper pumpkin kits come with a stamp set and a little stamp set like that, and a, I don't have one here, an ink spot. So it's a 1-inch ink pad, and we know ahead of time what color the ink pad will be. If you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin for 12 months, you will end up with at least 12 different colors of ink. And I checked a couple years ago, and in the previous 12 months, they used 12 different ink colors. So that's a great way to work on your ink color that you have available. So that's Paper Pumpkin, a subscription. It's a surprise every month. I love getting my surprise. They send them out on the 11th of every month, and I tend to get mine on the 18th. The 11th was over the weekend, so it's going to be, they just shipped mine today, so it will probably be the 19th, or maybe Monday the 21st. Anyway, so kits. If you go on the website under shopping, there's a kits collection. So those are different than Paper Pumpkin. These, you know ahead of time exactly what is in your kit. The heirloom arrangements I've talked about before, and we made, I don't know if the cards are still in here. I guess they're not. So if you look at the details of the kit, this one happens to include an ink spot, that's pecan pie, and a little stamp set. It tends to be sentiments, like Paper Pumpkin. There'll be sentiments that you can use on your cards, and then this one has 2 additional, so that butterfly would be fun to play with. I don't think I've even inked that up yet. So that's the heirlooms. You can see right there, it's $23. The kits that are stamping kits like this tend to be a little more, so that's the 23, and you might use these on the cards, like here, that they do tell you exactly what stamps to use and where to stamp them, and the instructions here are amazing. I always laugh at this, and I know you've heard me before. They even tell you where to put your adhesive. So so that's the heirlooms kit, and I did that on a Monday video not too long ago, so you can go back. Maybe I'll link that video for us. Two more recent kits, and I made a card from this, and I can't find it. I don't know what happened to it. It's here somewhere. This is the Welcome Garden Kit. Look at the detail in this card. So they've already die cut it for us, so we don't, and look at this one, the details on there. Hopefully you can see that. So there's a place to write down here, and then I think you add additional flowers and birdhouse there, and they give you the stamp here, this little wood grain. You actually, with the crumb cake ink, you stamp on your fence to add just a little more interest, and so it's not so flat, and a little more texture to it. So that is the Welcoming Garden Kit. So if you think about having to purchase the dies and stamps and ink, if you were to create something like this just with our general products and not using a kit, that's a lot of colors of ink, that's a lot of dies, and you need a machine to do that. So kits are a great way to try different things, and try a few different things. So this one included 9 cards. So it was 3 each of these 3 cards. So to me, sometimes that's enough. To be honest, there are times when I will get a bundle, like the crabs and lobster, the Friends of the Ocean Friends, that was in the mini catalog that's about to retire. I used it in one of my Monday videos, maybe in a Friday video, and that's all I've used it. So it's very sad, and I'll keep it because I do keep all my water themed products. But if it's something I'm not going to want to use a lot, a kit is a great way to go. So like I said, if you don't have a machine, you can get the look of all these die cuts by using a kit. I have one more kit to show you, and then what we're going to do today is I'm going to do alternates on a kit. I thought that would be kind of fun. One of these kits from the kits collection. I don't know how many kits there are right now. Maybe 30 different kits. We're adding 2 kits every month to the kits collection. And they're retiring them maybe after a year or so, give or take. This is the Maritime Moments kit. So if you know 1 or 2 people who might like this theme, then a kit might be better than investing in stamps and punches and dies and all those things. So, and the colors are really fun. Oh, here, you put is that a seagull? Not a seagull. Pelican. That's a pelican. And look at this. It looks like it's a watercolor. So there again, rather than buying all the stamps to create all these things, and these are die cuts. These will punch right out. You get a few cards instead of a lot of cards, and maybe you just want a few. I have not put into the suggestion box, and somebody did suggest it to me, that they have refills for these kits. This is a stamping kit. You get a gray granite ink spot, so there's our 1-inch ink spot, and then this cute little stamp set. They are including this now. Let's see, they're upside down. This the seagulls, the spray, the floral spray, the sailboat, and the lighthouse are the stamp. That's what's on the stamp, and they show you in here. I haven't made these cards yet. Where to stamp them. So which stamp, so you use the spray, and I don't know where you put it, but anyway, they tell you exactly where to stamp them. And so what was I going to say? On the other hand, if you have a lot of maritime themed products in your stash, like I do, like I said, I keep all my water themed things, I might have a lot of things in my stash that I could use to make alternate cards out of these. So the card bases are really fun. This is one I'll probably cut in half so I can get 2 cards, in which case I could use, you know, products from my stash, my dies and my embossing folders and all that, with the stamps, and create some great alternate cards. So alternate cards with kits. Like I said, paper pumpkin alternates are a big draw. People want to, some of my most looked at blog posts are paper pumpkin related. So just telling you. Okay, this one is the Happy House Plants. It comes with 4 of these, and it is $25. It was part of the Celebration second release products, and so I stocked up because our 6x6 paper, I won't take the time to put it in, but you can see it's going to fit in there beautifully, and I'll put it under the glass. That does have glass in there. If you can see, it's probably glaring. And then I can just put do a die cut a word or a sentiment, maybe relax. Would be fun for a, well, maybe not with this. I was thinking the sea themed one. I don't know. Something big, like I'm looking up at my stamps, and I have a big love stamp, so that might be kind of nice. But I think relax for a retirement gift would be kind of fun. So that, and this paper, sorry, is from Splendid Autumn, which is staying on. They did not retire it. All right, there goes my stack. So the kit we're working with today is the Thank You Kindly kit, and this kit is not a stamping kit. It comes with not stamped, but pre-printed, and there you can see the gold foil on there, and they're all thank you cards. Very elegant. They're just white, black, and gold. But when I saw this kit, again, it's only $14. There's no stamping. Things are pre-printed, the thank yous there. When I saw this, I wasn't so sure about the white. Looking at pictures of things is always very different than seeing them in person, and I don't know if seeing them on video, me holding it is any different than than seeing it on camera. But in person, they are much more lovely because there's a little bit of gold in all those veins and the gold sentiments. They are very elegant cards, but I still want to add some color to these and see what that looks like. So I'm going to make some alternates to the thank you kindly. Oh, I'm going to take a minute and say hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. I got started right away and then I got distracted. So hello, Kathy from Southwest Missouri, and Deb lives around the corner here. Alma, thank you for joining me. And Amber, hello. Amber hosted a family birthday party for her daughter who turns 5 later this week. Deb, thank you for the comment about the alternatives. And my mom and dad and Jean Schiller, thank you all for joining me today. So, kits, it's a great way just if you want to try something. So obviously I didn't have to buy the dies that are going to create this beautiful flower. Let's do the flower first because that's the first one. So I did play around with some colors for the flower. This is Fresh Freesia and this is Petunia Pop. And then I forgot that there were actually leaves back here too. So that's what I'm going to do with my flower, one or both of those. So I added soft seafoam to my table. I just thought it might be kind of fun to add a little color and see what this card looks like with color. And then for the leaf one, this one, I thought it might be fun to add some pretty peacock to the circles. And then I'm going to add Lost Lagoon to the leaves. So I could be wrong. I might be way off base here. I don't know. The other thing you could do is this rectangle, which is behind the flower and the leaves. You could add color to this and just do that. Maybe we'll, I don't know. There's so many, I'm coming up with so many ideas. It's kind of fun. The other thing is this, I don't know if you can see. I'll wait till this catches up. My video's a little off or a little lagging. This is textured. It's not smooth. So I would not try to stamp on here unless you have a stamp positioner. And now that I look at this circle in the light, it's actually kind of glimmery. But it's both sides are textured. So you'll see that when I add some color here. Okay, let's do the flower first. Like I said, I grabbed the flower parts. Oh, can you see there's gold in the veins? Kind of fun. And there's leaves here. So they come pre-die cut. So, you know, here's a flower die cut I didn't have to buy. Granted, I only get a few cards, but maybe just a few cards is all you need. And then you move on to something else. So I'm really enjoying the kits. They have the card layouts are so fun to learn from. All right, let's start with the leaves. And I am going to grab a piece of paper. I have a notebook here. I'm just going to grab a piece of paper. Because I'm working on my glass mat. My glass mat, sorry for that noise. My glass mat does not absorb the ink, obviously. And I have a couple ideas here. I have both blending brushes and sponge daubers. I'm going to start with the daubers. I was going to use brushes and I thought, well, I'll try these too. So I'm going to use soft seafoam to add some green to the leaves. So just to see how dark that is, I'm going to go really light. I'm just spreading a little bit of green so that they appear. I see it's not drying. This must be coated. That's right, I have paper towel. We'll try to dry it, make sure it's dry. I don't know if you can see that it's not, that it's still kind of wet. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to start at the base because it's going to be darker and just go very light towards the front because I think the flower is going to cover that base. Let me see, is that still wet? It might be. So I'm going to use a paper towel to wipe off any excess because that was still wet. Interesting. Must be coated paper. Didn't think of that. I did play it, you know, I did this just to see how it would look, and the texture is coming through on my sample there. I was just playing with colors. Okay, so there's the green. Again, that soft seafoam. I always want to know colors that people are using. So I think I'm going to use both the fresh freesia and the petunia pop. So fresh freesia I'm going to use for the outer leaves. I think for this card we will use sponge daubers. Let me pull this card back in. So I thought it might be kind of fun to use a lighter hand and a lighter color ink around the edge. And then, you know how the middle of the flower oftentimes is darker than the rest of the leaves. Probably because they're newer leaves. So I'm going to ink, but I'm going to take a lot of it off and just add a touch of color. This is fresh freesia again. Can you hear the squeaking? I didn't realize it was coated. That's right. This is going to work. So I'm really curious to see how this changes the cards in the kit, and if we like it better or worse, or if we like the originals. Not, I won't say it'll be worse, it'll just be different. So I'm trying to add darker towards the middle and leave it light towards the edge of the petal. Let me look at the card again. Okay, so I am going to see a little bit beyond just the edge. So I'm going to pull this into the middle of the flower a little bit more. That center isn't going to cover up near as much as I thought. So there's that. Again, fresh freesia with the sponge dauber. I'm going to use my paper towel again to kind of mop up any excess that might not be dry. Okay, there's that. And there's our leaves. Now for our middle of our flower. So they're still purplish, so I'm going to use the same dauber. I don't use daubers near as much as the blending brushes. And this is Petunia Pop, one of our returning in colors. These colors are so similar, but because I went so light on that, I think it'll be very different. So I'm just using the edge of the dauber. Oh, look at this. It's die cut. I can get that leaf really dark. Same with this one. So you can see it's die cut, and I'm just pulling back the outer edge so that this one sticks up. This is much more fun than I thought it was going to be honest with you. I just hope we like the card. Like I said, seeing the cards for the first time and then making them, I'm like, I think they need some color. But the gold adds a lot. So I'm going to pull down this with my finger and put that one up. Hopefully you can see how I added color to those. Here too, I can add color to that one. Now I'm going to have pink fingers. That's good. Again, I'm going to mop up the excess. I'm going to kind of put my flower together. I'm thinking I might want to color that more pink and leave less white. I have a wet towel here. But let's put it together and see. Oh, I forgot to grab card bases. Oh, I forgot to talk about the sentiments. Black with gold. And they do create one kit for all of Stampin' Up! And we are in Germany, Denmark, and the South Pacific. Well, South Pacific would use English, but Germany and Danish are in here too. Oh, yeah, I don't think we have Spanish. We have one Spanish stamp set right now, I think. I don't remember which one it was, though. I should look into that and share that information. Yes, I can tell that this has a coating on it. So this one has the rectangle, and then the leaves. Sorry, I can do this. Oh, that is really light. The flower and the flower. I was also going to say that I will only use the English ones. I won't use, oh, French. So German, French, and Dutch. So this must be thank you in Dutch. I won't use that side, but there's no reason I can't use that side, either as an element on a card with like a sentiment above it, stamped, you know, on white, stamped in whatever color, a white piece of cardstock. Or I could emboss on this with gold or silver or copper or whatever I have, or white. So that's like a pre-cut piece for a card. So I'm not going to throw those away. I'll use those on another card. So what do you think of that? Does it need more ink? I'm going to let my video catch up here. And I see my thing here's... Oh, I'll hold it up so you can see better. That's kind of pretty. But I think I am going to add more color to this middle piece. So I'm going to leave less white. Oh, that's too much. Too much. There we go. I really want this middle piece to stand out. You know what? I'm going to grab some more ink. I'm going to make the edges really dark too. Like I made those pieces that popped up really dark. So I'm just taking a lot of ink and putting it right on the edge. We used to do this a lot. When I first stamping, everything was grungy and we would make it look old. Yeah, we were ready for that one. Remember that, Alma? I think Alma's been, Deb and Alma have been stamping that long. We used to do this with, we had a color called More Mustard, and it would make everything look old, like old newspaper. So that was kind of fun. I saw something with More Mustard the other day. It's like, oh my gosh. That's going back a few years, like 15 or so. There we go. Look at that. All right. I don't remember how to put this card together, but I'm going to wing it. Actually, I changed my mind. I will not wing it. I will grab... They even send adhesives in these kits. It's just amazing. So if you look at the accessories in the kit, maybe it has twine and you've never used twine. They do a good job explaining how to use things in their videos. Actually, all the kits and Paper Pumpkin, there are videos that coordinate. So in tomorrow's newsletter, I'll include the a link to the video that our CEO did about this kit. Okay, so the flowers, I just put... this is actually tear-in tape, so we can tear it. Sarah used scissors, and I'm not sure why she did that. I think she should have talked about how you don't need scissors. So they just put pieces of tear-in tape across the pieces and layer it together. And then dimensionals on the back of the thank you. I will leave this a thank you card, just because I didn't think ahead, and I don't have any sentiments. So I'm going to start with this. Like I said, another option would be to add some color to this and then leave the card, the flower white. Maybe I'll do that on an alternate later. But I'm already taking a lot of time. See, it just tears. You don't need scissors. And I will go ahead and add tear-in tape to all of these pieces. I keep thinking that's the back side. All right, so I put it on the back of everything. And maybe, that's good. Okay. So that's where we're going. Oh dear. All right, let me grab my card. Sorry if my head got in there. Okay, and if you have trouble pulling up this liner, I like to burnish them really well and then just use your fingernail. And if you don't have a nail, you can use, I've seen people use take your pick tools. Just like that. Just kind of poke at it and it comes right up. And I do have, this is garbage. Don't think I'm throwing it on the floor. Oh, sorry, was I out? No, I was on camera, okay. I'm gonna center this. And then our leaves. Let me look at this one. So the leaves go like this. And then the center flower, or the... Make sure I'm not doing it upside down. Alright, it is opening that way. Ask me how I know. Or why I know to check. Have you ever done that? Have you ever made a card upside down? Oh, goodness. There's that. And then our colorful flower. Oh, that's so pretty. I kind of wish I had popped that up. And so do this one, the script, thank you. Nice and legible. I do like how it's a nice font that you can read. And some dimensionals. These you could even cut in half. That's kind of a big dimensional for these. So you could make your kits go farther. I'm going to put it right there. That spot on my flower was a little darker than I wanted it to be, right under there, right under the T. So that's why I chose to put my sentiment there. So there, what do you think? Let me look at them properly, and then I'll wait for the video to catch up while I get ready for the other card. Oh, this light is being distracting. Let me know if you like it white or colored. I have a preference, but I want to know what you think. Let's see. Comments so far. Kathy says, I like the coloring. I think the coloring is perfect. Mom and maybe Dad say, I like the added color. And Alma says, I still like to dirty up the edges on sentiment pieces. Oh, that is a great idea, Alma. I haven't done that in a while. But I really miss more mustard. That was a great color. So what do you think? Yes, Amber says colored. I agree. This is beautiful. It's very elegant, and I was hesitant to even do this video today, but I'm glad I tried it. And obviously any color you have, if you don't have two different pinks or coordinating colors for your flower, I could have used one color and gone very light around the edge and added like 2 layers to get my darker color in the middle. So did somebody mention, oh, okay, I thought somebody had mentioned it. So I'm just using ink from ink pads. I'm wondering if colored pencils would work on these. With the textured paper, that could be kind of fun. I could use a water painter and pick up ink from my lid to color. That's a little less, I don't know. I don't have much control because I'm not a good painter. The other thing are blends. Our alcohol markers would be kind of fun to play with this too. And you could get some good shading and whatever. But I don't have those on my table, so we're just using these today. So that is the flower. Let's move on. And that was ink from the ink pad using sponge daubers. So we are going to switch gears and use Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock on our leaf. Let me get this. And here, let me find the original card. So here's the original card. It has 2 circles, a large one and a small one, behind the leaf, which is really hard to see. I mean, in person I can see it, but I thought we could add some color. So I'm thinking darker on the circles and lighter on the leaf. So I'm going to add Pretty Peacock to this. And since they're in the same color family, I'm going to use the same blending brush, and it's a small one. Let me get a white piece of napkin. This is actually a napkin. No, it's a paper towel, excuse me. So there is some ink on here still, but not much. You know what? I should do the light color first. Change in plans. We're going to switch and do the leaf first. Don't you think a light leaf on a darker background? So the veins are die cut, which you saw on the flower, but then they've added gold veins too. So it's very pretty. Very, very pretty. If you need thank you cards, this is a very nice kit. And if not, I mean, it'd be very easy to add sentiments to this and make of them sympathy cards or get well cards. That would be really nice. So we wanted a little darker towards the stem and then lighter as the leaf goes. And this is my light color. So I'm going to be very gentle to start. I'm barely pushing it all. And you probably can't see the ink yet on there. When I lift it off the paper, here come all the ideas. I could use this as a stencil or as a mask. Let me grab, oh, well, you can see it on this paper. You can almost see it there. Let me turn this over. I should have just a white piece of paper. Clean that off a little bit. And I can use this as a mask. And I'm going to get the outline of the leaf in Lost Lagoon. And here again, I'm using 2 different colors. If you don't have 2 coordinating colors, you could go really light on the leaf like I am here, and then go darker on the circles. Or, I want this stem darker. Or you could use different colors. I'm using blue-green theme here. You could just use green on your leaf. See there, you can see the outline, the stencil. And then different colors. Just use, I don't know, any color on the circles. Yellow or orange would make it look like the sun. I'm pretty sure this is coated paper, so I'm getting a little bit of ink off that. So not too bad. So that was really subtle. So we're going to leave that like that and then see what we think with this. I'm going to fold this. This is interesting. It is definitely coated on the outside, and the inside feels like regular white paper. Let's see what it looks like with just that. That's pretty. So there's one option, but I do want to add color to the circles. You probably can barely even see them on camera. I know my video's delayed, so yeah, you can barely see them. So we're going to add some pretty peacock. What color would you add to these circles? So I'm going to use the same brush. It's in the same family, but look how dark that is. So I am just going to swirl it around because this will mostly be covered up by the leaf. Let's see what it looks like with that much. Kind of looks like clouds, doesn't it? Oh, that's pretty. Oh, wait. I clicked on something. All right. Alma says she liked the colored flower too. I think it added a lot. So there again, if you see a kit and you're thinking, I kind of like it, it's your kit, your cards. You can always change. Add some color, add just ink. That's all I'm doing here. I think it needs to be darker. The other thing I might think about doing is stamping on the background on the card base. But I think I take that back. Once I add the sentiment, it'll be all right. So I went to Card Ministry today. Deb, we missed you. And after I was done making my cards, I was just sitting there visiting with the person next to me, and she's like, I don't think this card is done. And it was a thank you card. Most of the ladies at the Card Ministry at this church, they take old, used greeting cards that people have saved or whatever, and they cut them apart and make a new card. So she had a card base, and then she had a purple layer, and then a layer that said just a note and had some flowers on it. And it was a lovely card, being just a note. It wasn't a birthday or anniversary or sympathy card or anything. I said, what if we add some sequins to it? And I had brought some retired sequins, the artistry something sequins that we had a couple years ago. I just grab retired stuff when I go to Card Ministry because they don't know the difference. So I gave her some of my purple sequins that matched the purple on her card. And it really did finish off her card. And she agreed that she thought the card was done now. So it was really interesting to see that happen. That, the card didn't seem done. It didn't seem done to me either. And I had some twine that she could have used too, but the sequins were the perfect thing. She put them at the base of the flowers. I have 3 of the flowers on there. So, okay, I'm just playing around, adding some pretty peacock to my circles. And I know some of you have discovered our embellishments too. So make sure you check the Last Chance products because there's some good ones on there. I ordered yesterday. I closed our last host code last night. Tomorrow we start with a brand new Stampin' Rewards programming. I'm excited for you to start using that. You'll earn, for every order over $20, and this is just numbers in the US, you'll earn 10% of your order as rewards to use on a future order. And those reward kind of points last for a year, and you can accumulate them. So if you order $50 this month and $50 next month, you'll have $10 in future months to use. So that's basically how it's going to work. You'll have to opt into it, and I'll know more tomorrow after I get tomorrow's update. So what do you think of that? What do you think of that? I like the coloring I did on those circles. Oh, that is beautiful, I have to say. I'm not sure I like the Lost Lagoon on the leaf. It gets lost, no pun intended, on the Pretty Peacock. What do you think? I do like the colored better than the plain. Maybe even... How are we doing on time? Oh, it's after 8 already. I'm going to let it go for now. I'm thinking I might want to make this garden green instead of Lost Lagoon. You know what? You're with me already. I'm just going to grab it. And I have seen these two colors together, either in a paper or in a kit or something. That Lost Lagoon is just too light, and I don't want to make it darker to compete with the Pretty Peacock. So I'm going to switch gears here. And I have more of a green blending brush. That looks like it is already garden green. So I'm going to go really dark on this. I'm just doing the stem and a little bit of the leaf. I want the leaf to still be blue. I mean white, so that you can see the blue of the Pretty Peacock under it. Let's see. Hopefully I didn't just ruin it. And my paper towel to mop up any ink that's not dry on our coated cardstock. So thank you for joining me today. Where's my original card? Okay, they do have the large one at the top, the small one at the bottom. This is going to be better. I do like these colors better. Oh, much better. Much better. Now just some adhesive and I'm done. So alternate your kits, right? I don't think I saw Nan on here. Nan, one of my teammates, really likes to do alternates to Paper Pumpkin. Or you can even hear it. Hear that? That's the texture on these circles. So, like I said, I don't know that you could stamp on these. So put that up towards the top. Let me see what they say on here. Oh, I think they have the big one on the bottom. It's even hard to see on the picture. I don't know. So I'll have to make sure Nan sees my video here. She usually watches. She may be busy today. And then they had, I think I was supposed to use tear and tape. I'm just going to use little pieces on each of the leaves. Oops. Oop, I almost lost that. I need to make sure that's going the right way. That's too big. Put that there. All right. Yes. I'm going to burnish these. Okay. And then I can pick up with my Take Your Pick tool. Oop. Stuck. So coloring in the background on the card base is another idea. I mentioned that earlier, so that could be kind of fun. I'll probably use my Stamparatus to try to stamp on the card base. That one doesn't seem near as textured as these extra pieces, the circles and the rectangle on the flower. or maybe I'll just use a kind of a textured stamp that isn't, you know, I wouldn't be looking for an image that you're going to see. It's just kind of a background. So you'll have to watch my blog and see what I do with the rest of these cards, because I'm not going to leave them white, I'll tell you that. I am going to do some other fun things. So this is a fun way to try some techniques. So I could try a different technique on each of these cards. And hold on, I need to hold it up here and decide that that goes right there. So there are my colors. Again, that was Pretty Peacock, and I added garden green to the stem. I'm glad I did that. Thank you for waiting for me. So there are our cards. Again, this is the Thank You Kindly kit. And I think you get 8 cards. So there's 4 of each of these. So here's 2 of each. So I've got more to play with. Try some different techniques and whatnot. So thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. Kathy says the colored circles make the card, doesn't it? I think it would be very fun to make these either orange. Mango Melody would have been my first choice, but that's a now retired color. Maybe one of our new one like Peach Pie. And I think they'll look like the sun behind a leaf, and maybe add more color to my leaves. I don't know. So many ideas, so many options. Use your creativity. You are all creative. I know you are. So thank you for joining me. Have a great week. Happy Easter to those of you celebrating on Sunday. And I take requests if there's something you want to see. If there are alternates to a kit that you need some ideas for, that would be fun to do too. So thanks for joining me. Happy stamping, everybody. Bye.